Good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer. Savannah is off. This record-breaking heat wave feels like a broken record. Once again, millions of Americans across the country are waking up to sweltering temps. Triple-digit temperatures are expected from Georgia all the way up to New Hampshire. Even though it's July, when the weather is typically toasty, some spots will still see highs nearly 20 degrees above normal. Out west, massive heat-fueled wildfires continue to burn in Colorado and Utah, raising worries about the air quality there. The sweltering heat already impacting 4th of July celebrations, from World Cup festivities to holiday weekend parades. It's a daunting forecast for the more than 72 million Americans who are expected to travel this holiday weekend amid these stifling conditions. We're covering this story from all angles: weather, health. But we start with NBC's Ryan Nobles in the middle of it all in Washington, D.C. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning. Yeah, the sun is barely up here in the nation's capital, and it is already hot, over 80 degrees. It's expected to climb into the triple digits yet again today. We are experiencing what could be almost a week of temperatures over 100 degrees. There is a concern that the heat index, what it feels like temperature, could be as close as 110 degrees. And that's a lot for city officials to take in, because Washington, D.C. is expected to be packed this weekend with celebrations surrounding the 250th anniversary of Independence Day. Already, you can see behind me, the mall is packed with the Great American State Fair. So the city, federal officials, everyone involved in the planning, making sure that they have all the necessary safety precautions in place to keep people safe over the next couple of days. But it's not just here in Washington, D.C. that they are dealing with extreme heat. It is up and down the East Coast into the Midwest. Multiple cities are bracing for temperatures over 100 degrees. It's expected to impact things like Amtrak. They're warning that there could be delays as a result of the extreme heat. And also, there's a real concern about the power grid. The mayor of New York City suggesting that folks keep their temperature at 78 degrees inside of their homes so that air conditioners don't trip and break the power grid over the next couple of days, because it is going to be so hot. Now, there's a lot to keep in mind here, because this is a holiday where people spend their time outdoors. The big key, of course, is to stay hydrated, stay out of the sun as much as possible, and make sure you listen to your body. If you start to feel that you're getting a little out of sorts, that could be heat exhaustion, and that can be a real problem. So the next couple of days, it's going to remain warm. It will probably be like this through the holiday weekend. So, Joe, this is something that a lot of people are looking to have fun, but they also need to stay safe. Joe?
No doubt, Ryan. Thank you. Let's get a closer look at just how hot it's expected to get with your morning news now weather. And Angie Lastman has all the numbers. Angie, good morning.
Hi, Joe. Good morning to you. Ryan said it. We've got to be safe. This is a prolonged kind of heat wave that we're still going to really right in the middle of, and going to see this last through the weekend. We've got 163 million people from the Great Lakes through the Southeast and up as far north as Maine. These heat index values for a lot of locations are going to be 100 plus, with the highest numbers coming in around 115. So let's take a look at some of those numbers today. Cleveland, you top out at 97, feels like 106. Philadelphia, 103 is your actual temperature. You're going to feel like 111. Even Boston, 105 for your heat index at the warmest point of the day today. Across parts of the Southeast, 111 for the feels like in Nashville, 107 for the heat index in Little Rock. That is just today. As we look to tomorrow, more of the same. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of relief underway for any folks that are dealing with this at this time, at least. We've got 104 for the feels like in St. Louis, 105 in Charleston, 111 again for folks in the Mid-Atlantic. Norfolk, you'll feel like 111 at the warmest point of the day. And even as we get into next week, we only see the heat ease for some. So notice Chicago, you're down to those mid-80s. That's going to feel like, winter time in some perspective for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Nashville, you hang out into those upper 90s, so still quite warm. We've got Washington, D.C. hanging on to those triple digits for the actual temperature on Saturday, and then down to those low 90s by Monday. That'll bring a little bit of relief. Even Boston, as you get into really Sunday and beyond, you'll get some refreshing air kind of filtering in. But the feels like temperatures still into those triple digits, really for the long haul for a lot of places. Close to it in Cleveland on Saturday. We've got 106 and 103 on Saturday and Sunday in D.C. Farther to the south, Nashville, you're across the board at 100 plus for the feels like temperatures through at least Monday, of course, impacting those holiday plans. We've also got, because of everything that I just explained, this happens when we have all of this heat kind of trapped in one location, elevated pollution levels near ground levels. So this is an air quality alert that we've got in effect across parts of the Northeast. That heat dome, in addition to everything I just mentioned, is also popping up some of these thunderstorms right along that ridge. We've got 23 million people that are going to see the potential for strong to even severe storms developing later today. Much of that kind of focused across parts of the Midwest. You can see parts of Minneapolis stretching to the west included in this. We've got the wind gust, the hail, and an isolated tornado all on the table for the potential today, Joe.
All right, Angie, thank you so much. Now, as the temperatures continue to climb, so do the dangers of spending too much time outside in the extreme heat. NBC News medical contributor Dr. John Torres is here with some simple ways to stay safe and beat the heat. Bottom line, if you are going to be outside, you need to know the signs of heat stroke and heat exhaustion, right?
Exactly. Those are the two bottom lines behind this. And essentially the difference there is with one, heat exhaustion, your body is still trying to compensate. With heat stroke, that compensation mechanism has broken down, and you can see right here the signs of that. Essentially, you start getting dizzy, nauseous, you start having a rapid pulse, your body temperature goes up above 103 or 104. Again, that mechanism has broken down. You can't cool off anymore. That profuse sweating, or you could have hot, dry skin as well. But the biggest sign is that second tip there, confusion. If somebody is confused, that is a medical emergency. They need to go to the emergency room right now. Difference being heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion means your body is still trying to fight this thing off. And we've all been there where you just feel awful. And I tell people it's a lot like feeling like you have the flu. So you have rapid pulse rate, you're breathing high, you're sweating profusely, your skin's flushed. You just need time. You just need to get out of the sun, get into shade, cool off as quickly as you can, and drink lots of water.
Good to recognize that if you're outside and starting to feel those things while you're outside, you know what's going on and you can take care of it. If you are going to be outside, the beach, barbecue, going to a parade or a picnic or something like that, what are the best ways to stay cool and avoid the heat-related illnesses?
And so the best way to stay cool is the most obvious way to stay cool and to avoid the heat during the high part of the day when it's going to be the most intense. And that's usually 10 to 2, 10 to 4 time period. Stay out of the sun as much as you can, too. But you want to pre-plan, and that means taking things that you can cool off with, wearing appropriate clothes, light-colored clothes, fabric that the wind can blow through, lots of hydration, lots of drinking fluids, and then watch the children and the elderly because they're more vulnerable. They can't regulate their temperatures as much, and they can fall sicker quicker.
Yeah, for those extra vulnerable groups, like young kids, like older adults, are there extra precautions that they should be taking?
The biggest precaution with them is just to keep an eye on them because you're not going to necessarily be able to tell if they're suffering from that confusion or things like that. So if you notice changes, particularly in behavior, especially with babies, if they start being irritable, if they stop eating, especially if they stop drinking, if you just notice these changes in them or in the elderly you might be taking care of, and now's a great time to look after our neighbors, call 911, say, hey, somebody needs to check in. But the main thing is to get them out of that environment during the day, get them into air conditioning because it's that constant 2, 3, 4 days of no breaks in the temperature that can really cause harm.
Is this one of those holiday weekends where if you just don't have to be outside, as tempting as it is to be out there, it might just be best to stay in as much as possible?
Exactly. You don't want to be outside unless you have to. There's a thing called wet bulb temperature, which is what they use for work environments and sports environments. And so if you're out there, you want to make sure that wet bulb temperature that you're looking at the rest work cycle. And so you might only be having to work 15 minutes and then rest 30 minutes. You want to make sure that your workers, the people that are outside, if you're involved in sports, that you're taken care of.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind there are some folks who have to be out there for their jobs.
Exactly.
All right, Dr. Torres, good to have you with us. Thank you so much. Now, while locking yourself inside your air-conditioned home might sound nice over the next few days, we know a record-breaking number of Americans expected to travel over this holiday weekend, and today is predicted to be the busiest, both on the roads and at the airports. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa is at Chicago O'Hare Airport with a look at how the travel weekend is shaping up. Maggie, good morning.
Hey there, good morning. The July 4th travel rush absolutely hitting its peak today. It's expected to be the busiest day, according to TSA, at airports nationwide, with an estimated 3 million people flying through airports coast to coast. In particular, TSA says the combination of patriotic excitement and World Cup fever has them bracing for some 18.7 million passengers during this 4th of July holiday stretch. Among the most popular cities, speaking of, New York and Seattle, two cities celebrating the 4th, of course, and also hosting World Cup matches. Now, Chicago O'Hare is anticipating the busiest July 4th crowds ever, with passenger totals here up roughly 8% from last year. Meanwhile, for drivers, today marks the busiest day as well to pick up a rental car, with rental giant Hertz seeing the highest demand in Orlando, Denver, Boston, LA, and New York City. The number of Americans hitting the highways also is up to roughly 61 million Americans. That's about 85% of all July 4th travelers, guys.
All right, Maggie, thank you so much. The fallout is growing from President Trump's financial disclosures. They show he made $1.4 billion last year from cryptocurrency ventures and meme coins. Some lawmakers say that he's profiting from the presidency. For his part, Mr. Trump is defending his new fortune. NBC's Gary Grumbach joins us now from Washington with the latest. Gary, good morning. So what are Democrats saying about this money, and how is the president responding to the criticism?
Yeah, this comes after $600 million was revealed to have been put towards Donald Trump and his family through a crypto business that they created themselves back in 2024. Here's how the president responded to it. We'll get to Democrats on the other side.
I don't get involved in my personal. We have funds that run my money. Well, I've made a lot of money before I became president, and they invest my money, and I don't talk to them. I don't even speak to them. So I have many people, I don't know what they call it, closed accounts or something. You put your money in, and that's it. You know why I'm profiting? Because the stock market's going up. Everybody's profiting. If you have a 401k, how's your 401k done? It's about up 85%. Thank you, President Trump.
Yeah, so Democrats are trying to point out that the president is amassing some serious wealth here, while others in this country are just simply trying to get by with groceries and gas prices sky high at this point. Senator Elizabeth Warren saying that she's going to try legislatively to block this kind of thing, to block presidents from being able to do this in the future. But with a Republican-led House, a Republican-led Senate, that seems very unlikely, at least right now, Joe.
And Gary, we also saw President Trump take his first flight on this brand new Air Force One plane, which was a gift from Qatar. It is opulent. It is also controversial. What else should we know about it?
Yeah, gone are the days of the baby blue paint job on Air Force One. Now you've got dark blue, red, and white in a $400 million gift from the royal family in Qatar. They gave this plane last year to the United States. President Trump had it retrofitted for months as it relates to security and as it relates to just what the inside actually looks like. The pool reporter who was representing all of the TV networks on the plane yesterday described it in one word: luxurious. Joe.
All right. Also, the president on that plane flew to North Dakota for the opening of the Teddy Roosevelt Presidential Library. He had a certain interaction that is getting some attention, an interaction not with a real-life, modern-day human being. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the president is a fan of AI. You see it he's posting AI on his Truth Social platform all the time, but we rarely get to see him actually interacting with AI. So watch this. This is going to be the real Donald Trump and an AI Teddy Roosevelt.
Every day a president faces storms most people never see. Keep your nerve and remember the nation comes first. You get through. I know you know that feeling yourself.
Well, I appreciate those words. Those words are fantastic. And I just want to say it's an honor to be with you today. We are making a little bit of a tour, some of the fantastic things you've done.
So certainly a unique way to see the president interacting with somebody. We rarely see a president interacting with AI, but this is the future, right? The president has certainly come under fire for some of the things he's been posting on social media as it relates to AI. But certainly if you visit the North Dakota Presidential Library for Teddy Roosevelt, you get to interact with some AI there. Joe.
Yeah, it's either a glimpse at the future or it's just fuel for a future SNL sketch. We'll have to wait and see. Gary Grumbach, thank you so much. Appreciate it. A daredevil duo is behind bars this morning after performing a a daring stunt that feels like something out of a King Kong movie. The couple climbed to the very top of the iconic Empire State Building, where they unfurled a banner calling for peace. The man then appeared to propose, and the two embraced as helicopters swirled overhead. As NBC News correspondent Valerie Castro explains, the arrest, captured on police body cam video, has a lot of people asking, how the heck did they get up there?
Two climbers under arrest after an alarming security breach at the Empire State Building.
Oh my God.
A jaw-dropping midday stunt happening at one of America's most famous landmarks. Law enforcement sources say Angelina Nicolau and Ivan Kuznetsov were first spotted climbing to the spire around noon, sparking a flurry of 911 calls, even alerts to air traffic control from pilots.
Two geniuses climbed to the top of the Empire State Building.
Later, over 1,400 feet in the air, the pair unfurling a banner with a message about love and peace, and then...
It looks like the man is he proposing to her?
In a bizarre twist, one of the climbers apparently getting down on one knee. The pair posting these images from the top of the building. Down below, police responding and people gathering to watch. This all happening on a hot summer day in the city, but not stopping the crowds from gathering here to watch the spectacle up above.
How you doing?
It all lasted about 30 minutes.
Well, you can't be up here.
NYPD releasing this blurred body cam of officers having to climb up to detain them.
All right. Yeah, I'm okay. What language do you guys speak?
Russian. The couple now charged with multiple felonies, including reckless endangerment and burglary. Still unclear how they managed to gain access to such a heavily restricted area with masks and gear. Empire State Building officials only calling the incident unauthorized, with visitors quickly evacuated.
I look over and I see that someone's on top of the building, and that's a little scary, you know.
The couple, well known for their gravity-defying stunts, which were part of a documentary.
Now we were more than just daredevils.
They're in NYPD custody. The couple caused quite a commotion with their midday stunt, with tourists at the top getting a lot more than just the views they were expecting.
No kidding, Valerie. Thank you. For more on this, let's bring in Darren Porcher. He is a former New York Police Department lieutenant. Darren, good to have you with us. Y'all trained for everything, and guess including this. From a law enforcement perspective, just what was your reaction when you heard about this, when you saw this unfold?
I was really shocked because the NYPD's intelligence division conducts a security assessment of high-value targets such as the Empire State Building, World Trade Center, Madison Square Garden, et cetera. And that security that security check goes in unison with the private security that's assigned to the Empire State Building. So they're constantly revolutionizing ways to whereas they can determine if there's a possible fracture in the security mechanism in the Empire State Building. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to rewind the tape and see where these individuals made their incursion into the Empire State Building. I believe that there was some locks that they were able to fracture to get to the top of the building, but this is something that should not have happened.
I could only think of the law enforcement personnel who had to go up there to try and bring an end to all of this. It's a reminder, you do train for as many scenarios as possible, including something like this, right?
Yes. The unit in question that responded to this was Emergency Service Unit Truck 1, which is possibly, I want to say maybe a mile away. But they're the best in the business as it relates to scaling these skyscrapers in the city of New York. They're really good in terms of managing the ropes and getting to these structures that are high, as we see here. And a lot of this comes to fruition when oftentimes we have individuals on scaffolds that have been in a bad situation where the NYPD needs to come up and rescue them. So this is what they do. But one of the challenges that you have with a rescue, or I should say an incursion of this caliber, is you have to wait for these individuals to come down. You can't go up and bring them down, because if you go up and attempt to bring them down forcefully, you now gain the propensity of somebody falling and getting themselves hurt.
Yeah, amazing they were able to accomplish this without anyone getting hurt. You mentioned the security measures. What's usually in place when it comes to an iconic landmark like the Empire State Building? And how do you think these climbers could have possibly bypassed those security measures?
The NYPD has a consent decree with commercial establishments as it relates to audio and video cameras at the location. What I mean by that is we have a real-time crime center in one police plaza which actually monitors this location and allows the police department to hone in on the cameras at that location. So they're going to look to that, and they're going to conduct what we refer to as an after-action review as to what went wrong. So when we revolutionize the security component of this building, we can make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because fortunately, this was merely an internet stunt. But if this was an act of terrorism, we could have been placed in peril.
Yeah, and here's one of the worries here. Obviously, the media is going to cover this live, and now we have social media, so it does go viral, dangerous stunts like this. Do you worry it's going to encourage any sort of copycat, whether it's someone who has more nefarious plans or someone who just wants to do similar to what they allegedly did and just get some attention?
From the copycat perspective, I think that this is a challenge. We have something that happens in New York, oftentimes we refer to as subway surfing, whereas we have individuals that get on top of subway cars and they ride through for the purpose of gaining an Instagram or something that's on Snapchat. A lot of these social media companies are now not allowing this content to be presented on their platform. And I'm hoping that the same will happen as it relates to an incident of this magnitude. So the social media components are a very instrumental piece in not allowing these people the universal viewing of what their antics would be in a case like this.
We have a busy weekend ahead here in New York. Obviously, 4th of July holiday, boat parade during the day. We got the fireworks at night. A certain rock star, pop star might be getting married a few blocks from the Empire State Building. A World Cup game in Jersey on Sunday. I assume security is already high, but could what we saw happen yesterday force even more changes?
Well, as of now, the security matrix of the NYPD is they have officers working 12-hour tours throughout the course of this weekend based on be it World Cup, Taylor Swift getting married, or just the overall larger population of people that we have that come into the city of New York. This is something that the NYPD does quite regularly, and they're really good at it. And I think this is more of an aberration than a norm as what we saw at the Empire State Building. But I genuinely believe that the NYPD is fit for the challenge. I mean, look, we just had the Knicks parade where we had over 2 million people, and it went off without a hitch. And it's just a testament to how great our police department is in upholding the social contract and keeping us safe.
Darren Porcher, good to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me as a guest.
As we just mentioned, all signs suggest that pop star Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding weekend is about to get underway. NBC News is learning the two-day festivities should begin tonight with a rehearsal dinner in Midtown ahead of Friday's star-studded ceremony at Madison Square Garden. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas has the details.
A new NYPD memo laying out details for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's major celebration, according to a person familiar with the matter. About 100 people will attend a rehearsal dinner at a venue inside the Garden Thursday around 6 p.m. The wedding and reception beginning around 5:30 p.m. Friday. The event expected to end around 2 a.m. with as many as 1,000 guests in attendance. The New York Times reporting the memo was titled Taylor Swift Wedding at Madison Square Garden, also citing interviews saying hundreds of police officers are expected to be on patrol. The arena bustling with preparation for the celebration.
As you can see right here behind me, really large items such as this one are being unloaded off of these trucks and being taken into the loading dock here at Madison Square Garden.
NBC News has reached out to Swift, Kelce, and MSG for comment, but have not heard back. The NYPD commissioner not giving any specifics on the big day.
I would be remiss not to mention an event that we are tracking at Madison Square Garden on Friday night. The NYPD will, of course, have a detail in place.
I've seen people walking around and there's just a buzz sort of in the air.
Chloe Malas, NBC News.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.